All right, all right. All right, you guys. How's everyone feeling? Maybe you could do like thumbs up, thumbs sideways, thumbs down, one thumb up, one thumb down. Just want to make sure you guys aren't super sore or feeling wrecked after doing all these swings. Thumbs sideways. Do you have sore muscles? Yeah. You can unmute. You can tell me what's sore. That's normal.
Yeah, I'm a little sore just from doing yoga and the kettlebells.
Are you sore in like your
My hip,
hamstrings, your low back?
my hips.
Yeah, your hip, like the front of them or like the back.
It's really like my glutes. What do you
Okay.
want?
All right, that's normal. That's normal. We'll do some stretching today. And Toby gave me three thumbs up. Yeah, we'll do some stretching and we'll kind of work some of that stuff out. I just recommend when people are sore, I recommend going for walks, drinking plenty of water, make sure you're nourishing your body well with protein and carbohydrates. And just, if you like to foam roll, you can foam roll. I personally feel like it's personal torture. But yeah, just know that it's normal. The more you train, uh, I guess the less you'll get sore for the most part, but also like I usually take a day off in between my training sessions too. So this has been a lot every day for 5 days. So yeah. Okay. Um, Here's how it's gonna go today. I'm gonna do a few slides. We're gonna do our kettlebell swing practice. And then we'll go back to some slides and I'll be inviting you guys to take some next steps with me if you want. Zero pressure. But I just want to let you guys know if you want to keep training, kind of what's available to work with me. And then that'll be it. I'm hoping to be done in 1 hour. So 6 p.m. Think that can happen. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and do the present mode. Maybe I should have pinned my screen too. Let's do that. Pin, share, present. Okay, at long last, we are here. Slide number one. This is our Kettlebell Foundations Challenge. We're in day 4 of 5 to learn, practice, and improve kettlebell swings so that we can get consistent and perhaps move on with kettlebell training. I am your friendly kettlebell coach. I've been personal training for 10 years, working with kettlebells almost all of that time. Lots of kettlebell certifications. You can call me a kettlebell nerd. I live in Clovis, California, right in the middle of the state. My daughter is 7. She's in second grade. And new fun fact, I love naps. Big nap person. Big nap person, big going to bed at like 8:30 p.m. person. All right, so Kettlebell Foundations is for you. If you want to work out with kettlebells, you're not sure what to do, you want to get some momentum and consistency, you want to make sure you're not going to hurt yourself with your training, you want some inspiration. Maybe you used to work out, but you haven't lately, and you want to get strong. If that applies to you, then you're in the right place. All right, this is a kettlebell swing. This is what we're working on for 5 days. It is the building block to other kettlebell exercises, particularly the ballistic exercises, kettlebell swings, cleans, snatches, to name a few. At the end of this challenge, I'm going to be inviting you guys to continue training with me in the Kettlebell Foundations course. It's a 6-week course. Um, I am totally fine if you guys don't want to do anything beyond the kettlebell swing, but if you do, just want to give you a lay of the land and talk to you about that. So we've been working on kind of introducing a new element. It's the same kettlebell swing, but focusing on one particular thing each day because there's so much going on with the kettlebell swing. Like you can pick up a kettlebell and you can swing it, but are you doing it right? Are you putting yourself in a bad position to hurt your back? Is it really working the things that it's intended to work? So on day 1, we really focus on the setup. So for the setup, You're just tipping that kettlebell back, creating tension in your body. You got your shoulders a little bit higher than your hips, nice bend through your knees. Your lats are packed, your eyes are down on the floor, so your neck is neutral. You're just getting ready to rip that kettlebell off the floor and initiate that first swing. On day two, we focused on the strength section. So that's where the kettlebell is through your hips. This is where you are loaded with the kettlebell in this position. And you're taking an inhale sip of air, a small sip of air as you're bracing in this strength position. The kettlebell needs to be like all the way into your body. So not down by your knees, but higher than your knees. It's your crotch. You can touch it. That's the cue that applies right here in the strength position. Your shoulders are still a little bit higher than your hips. You have a neutral back, spine, and your eyes are still down on the floor. You can spot something maybe 5 feet out in front of you. And then the third day, we focused on the stand. So this is the top of the kettlebell swing. This is where the kettlebell is weightless for like a split second. We want to be standing up nice and tall with our shoulders stacked over our hips, hips over our heels. Eyes are now looking at the wall in front of you or just gazing out in front of you. You can kind of look at the kettlebell in this position if the kettlebell is kind of out in front of your chest, about eye level. And that's it for the stand. So now we're going to continue. We're going to work on our breath, our power breathing, and then the timing of the kettlebell swing. So I first like to look at those 3 positions, because if you're hitting the setup, the strength, and the stand pretty well, then your kettlebell swing is safe. And then beyond that, we want to work in the power breathing so that you can really put a little bit more pep in your kettlebell swing, and then the timing. So I'm seeing some timing issues as I'm seeing people swing. So we're gonna go over that today, as well as the power breathing. They kind of go with each other. And since there's not that many people on this call, a lot of people are going to be probably watching this video tomorrow as part of their homework. Okay, so we'll cover both of those things today. Welcome in, my friends. All right, housekeeping. So we talked about this a little bit in the first call too. Doing the WhatsApp chat. Use a laptop when possible. If you can connect to a larger monitor, that's awesome. We're practicing daily for best results, greasing the groove. If we practice something once a week or once a month, chances are we're not going to get super good at it. But if we're practicing every day, then we're going to get better faster. And just remember, a reminder to you, me, everyone, that we're here to have some fun, to learn a new skill, to get better at a new skill. Thankfully, this is not super serious. We're just having a good time, getting a little bit more fit and enjoying each other's company. All right, so let's practice the kettlebell swing. So we're going to get into that. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to stay pinned, and I'm going to bring in my handy dandy interval cam. It's going to give us what we're doing when we're doing it. And then we'll go through some stretches. We'll do some of those prep exercises that we did last time. I'm going to add some stuff, and then we'll do the swing drills. We'll get to the swings, and then that'll be it. I'm thinking this is going to take just about 30 minutes with our swing practice. Again, we've already gone over strength, setup, strength, stand. So now we're going to layer in that power breathing and timing of the swing. So I'm just going to kind of move my screen down a little bit. We're going to start on the floor. I'm going to hit the timer so I stay on track with what the heck we're doing here. Let's stretch. All right, so we probably have some tight hamstrings, some sore lower backs. Our kettlebell swing is obviously working your hamstrings, your glutes. You have back muscles, believe it or not. So it's working your back a little bit. And so we're going to warm up those areas, and then we're going to go ahead and move on from there into our drills and all the rest. So let's go ahead and start on our backs. Give your knees a nice hug. So you can hug up your shins, pull your knees towards your body, and give yourself a nice little back massage. rocking yourself left and right. We'll do this for about 10 more seconds. And then from here, let's go ahead and shoot your right leg up to the ceiling and extend your left leg down towards the floor. So we're going to do a little hamstring kick here. So we're going to take our right leg, kick it up, feel that hamstring, stretch as your leg gets closer to your body. And we're going to do about 10 hamstring stretches or 10 leg lifts, kicks, call it what you will. Let's get 10 on the right. And then we'll do 10 on the left. So right leg is going to stay on the ground, kicking that left leg up. My quads are sore. So as I'm lifting my leg, quads are screaming at me. 2, 1. That's good right there. All right. Now we're going to take our heels underneath our knees. You can let your head and your shoulders rest on the floor. We're going to take this into a bridge. So we're going to press our feet into the floor, lift, tuck your backside off the floor. We want our hips into extension. So the front of our hips are going to get nice and straight. Meanwhile, we're squeezing our glutes here, holding this bridge. Let's hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to inhale our hips back to the floor. Exhale, drive up. Let's do 10 bridges. Starting to really feel your glutes contract at the top. Feel your hamstrings, especially where they insert and attach to your glutes. Feeling that kind of underneath your booty area. Let's do 3 more. 3. Inhaling back to the floor. 2. And 1. And let's go ahead and hug those knees up to our chest. Stretch your glutes a little bit. Rock yourself side to side. All right, roll yourself up. We're going to come onto all fours. And let's just get some rotation through our spine. So our right hand is going to come to our right ear. We're going to reach our elbow up towards the floor. Big stretch, eyes up on your ceiling. And then go ahead and bring your elbow back down towards the floor. I think I said that wrong. Reach your elbow up for the ceiling and back to the floor. Let's do 3 more. Then we'll switch sides. 2. And 1. And let's go ahead and put our right hand down, our left hand to our ear, twist up, and then back down. 2. And 1. All right, let's bring our hands in front of us and then stretch those hips back towards your heels. Your knees can be together, they can be straight, really just whatever preference. Stretching those hips back towards your heels, kind of getting a nice lower back stretch, opening up through your spine. You can close your eyes if you want to. Take an inhale breath, exhale through your mouth. Let's do that one more time. Big inhale, big exhale. And then go ahead and come back onto all fours. From here, we're going to get into a plank and we're going to hold it for 30 seconds. So part of the reason that we're going to be in a plank is because the top of our kettlebell swing, that stand position, is like a vertical plank. So I want to make sure that you guys are creating tension in your body. We're going to do a tension plank. All right, so your hands are shoulder distance apart. You're going to separate your hands and then grip the floor. With your legs, go ahead and step 1 foot back and then the other. 30 seconds starts now, I promise. So you want one leg like a cobra tail. You're squeezing your ankles together, your knees together, your inner thighs, squeezing your glutes, squeezing your quads. With your core, you're breathing behind the shield. Remember, the shield is your abs. So we're kind of bracing for maybe a kick to the gut, breathing behind that core bracing. Your triceps are nice and tight. You're pushing the floor away. And let's stay here for 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right. So when we create a bunch of tension, we then want to shake it out. Shake it out, shake it out. All right. Let's do a lateral lunge. I'm going to skip the pogos because we're going to do some pogos in the next section. So let's do feet nice and wide. And then your toes are pointed forward. Everyone wants to have their toes out. Toes pointed forward. We're just going to sit over into a right side lunge. Push back up to standing. And then let's go over to the left. So we're going to do 5 each direction, alternating as we go. Opening up those hips, starting to feel your legs work. Feel your feet into the ground, pushing the floor away as you come back up to standing. Let's do one more on each side, and then we'll shake it out. All right. I forgot to say it earlier, but I'm so glad you guys are here. Thank you for being here. Okay, let's do another set of bridges, a set of the plank, and then lateral lunges, and then we're going to move on. So come on down to the floor. Let's be on your back with your knees bent, your heels underneath your knees, resting your head and your shoulders and your arms on the floor. Let's go ahead and bridge those hips up. So just isometric hold for 10 seconds here. Feeling those glutes. Just squeeze and breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale down, exhale up. We're doing 10 bridges here. Nice and easy. Warming up these muscles that we're going to be using for our swings. Lots of glute power, hip flexors, quads, hamstrings. Let's do 3 more. Down and up. 3, 2, and 1. From there, go ahead and hug your knees to your chest. Stretch those glutes. And we're going to roll ourselves up, flip over onto all fours. We're going to go straight to that tension plank. So hands are shoulder distance apart. Shoulders are right over the top of your hands. And go ahead and step back 1 foot and then the other to create our plank. So we're going to go 30 seconds here. Your feet are glued together. Squeeze your butt cheeks together. You should feel your inner thighs, insides of your knees. Abs are nice and tight. Think about someone's going to come by and just kick you. What are you going to do? Ha! Brace that core. Squeeze it up. Keep breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. Triceps are engaged. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's rest. All right. Last thing is these lateral lunges, and then we'll move on. So feet nice and wide, toes pointed forward. Let's go over to one side. Maybe this feels a little bit better the second time around. Your body is a little bit looser, not so tight. Inhale as you lunge over. Exhale to stand. Couple more reps each side. How low can you go? How low can you go? Usually I play music, but because I'm uploading this to YouTube, it gets a little bit cranky about that. So here we are, just me singing. All right, let's move on. Okay, we're gonna use our kettlebell for this next section. So we're gonna do a suitcase deadlift and some marches. We're gonna do a deadlift, we're gonna do a dead clean, and then we're gonna jump around a little bit. So if you have a couple different size kettlebells, I know some of you guys have some various different weights. Let's go heavy kettlebell for this suitcase deadlift. The heavier you go, the more you're really gonna feel the core activation. So we're gonna put the kettlebell to the right of our right foot. Our feet are gonna be fairly narrow, so narrow stance. Remember, shoulders and hips are gonna stay connected, so we're not toppling over. So shoulders and hips stay nice and square. Right hand on your kettlebell, brace your core, and go ahead and stand it up. All right, we're gonna march here for 30 seconds. So picking up one foot, really driving into the floor with the other. We talked a little bit about why I am not wearing shoes. And it's not because I got a pedicure today, which I did. So excited about that. But no, it's because we want to feel the ground underneath us. We can have better balance, stability. We can have more power in our kettlebell swings when we don't have, 6 inches of cushion between the floor and our feet. All right, speaking of our feet, let's set them and then go ahead and put that kettlebell down the same way that we picked it up. One of the things that I want you guys to learn is how we pick up and set down the kettlebell is part of the set. So we're going to do the other side. So coming back down to the kettlebell, grip it and stand it up. All right, shoulders back, shoulder blades kind of squeezing, tension coming through this other hand that otherwise is not doing anything at all. So 30-second march here. So as soon as we touch the kettlebell, our exercise begins. And then it doesn't end until we safely set the kettlebell down. Even I get lazy sometimes and tired, and I just want to put the kettlebell down in the easiest manner possible. But it's not safe. You can hurt yourself. Let's go ahead and set our feet and set the kettlebell down. It's not safe. You can hurt yourself. And if you have the weight in your hands, that's part of the set, is safely getting rid of the kettlebell. So that last like half a second or 2 seconds, that's part of what we're working on. Okay. So with our kettlebell deadlift, again, if you have a few different weights, this is a heavy weight that you're going to use. Standing right over the top of your kettlebell. Our deadlift and our kettlebell swing, they're best friends. They're family members even. The hip hinge of our deadlift is the hip hinge of our kettlebell swing, okay? So right over the top of our kettlebell, making the letter H with your feet and the handle, pushing those hips back, having a nice straight back, bending your knees as much as you need to reach for that handle. Before you do anything, anti-shrug your shoulders, pull those shoulders away from your ears, engaging your lats. You've wedged yourself into the floor here, and our hip flexors are screaming. So let's go ahead and stand up nice and tall at the top. So your shoulders are stacked over your hips over your heels, your eyes are forward. Inhale, breath. We're going to tap that kettlebell right back down in between our ankles. Exhale as you stand it up. Let's get 3 more deadlifts. Inhale down, nice and slow. Exhale up, and another one. And then one more after this. And then once you safely park that kettlebell, you can go ahead and shake it out. Now, if you're a person that has a couple different weights, we're going to use a slightly lighter weight than what we just used on the deadlift for our dead clean. So this is a strategy that we use. We can use a heavier weight for a compound lift and then a lighter weight for a power exercise. It starts the same way in kind of your deadlift position. And now this kettlebell is going to come up to your face. So if we use a heavier weight for the deadlift, we can use a lighter weight for the dead clean, and it's going to fly off the floor. It's great. So we're going to stand right over the top of our kettlebell. Let me show you one time. We did this on Saturday, but just in case you weren't here or you didn't do the recording, we're going to get into our vertical pulling position, and this kettlebell is going to come all the way up to our face. So my hands went from the top of the handle to the sides of the handle, okay? And the kettlebell was weightless because I jumped with it, and then you're kind of looking through the handle with your eyes. So let's do 5 of those. We did 5 deadlifts. Let's get 5 dead cleans. It's called a dead clean with 2 hands. So butt down, chest up, eyes up, and now jump with it and catch that kettlebell right at your face. Hold it here. Squeeze your butt, squeeze your abs, your quads. Go ahead and safely put that kettlebell back down in between your feet. And let's get another one. Up Hold it there. Nice job. Back down. And another one. Up. Good. Let's get two more. Down. Up. Explode up. Good. One more. Down. Up. And park it. Shake it out. So now we're going to do a little bit of fake jump roping, a little bit of bouncing on your feet. If you don't want to do that, you could do some calf raises instead, but we're going to go 15 seconds of fake jump roping. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, and begin. Just a little bouncy bounce, bouncy bounce. If you keep working with me, you'll know why we do this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Basically, it's just a way to keep your joints and your tissues healthy, kind of prepared for anything. If you guys have children, grandchildren, dogs, I don't know about cats. Cats do their own thing, but sometimes you got to chase after our pets and our people, or life comes at you and you're going to trip and fall. So how prepared are you for those inevitable things that are going to happen? We gotta be able to jump. We gotta be able to absorb our body weight. So we do a little bit of jumping. Okay, let's go back to our deadlift, our dead clean, those fake jump ropes, and then we're gonna move on. So heavier weight for your deadlift. If you have a couple different weights, let's grab the heavy one, stand right over the top of it, warming up those hamstrings, glutes, and warming up your hinge. Hack your shoulders. And let's stand up. Good. Inhale back down. Finding that tall standing position at the top, feeling your feet gripping the floor. Exhale as you stand. Inhale back to the floor. Let's get two more. Exhale up. Inhale down. And one more up and down. And now we're going to shake it out. So now with our lighter weights, we're not just bringing it up to our hips, it's coming all the way up to our face. So that's another reason why I like a heavier weight and then a lighter weight, because this one's traveling further and it's explosive. This is an explosive, ballistic movement. So right over the top of our lighter weight, we can hinge our hips back, but this one's going to be a little bit more deep knee bend, eyes up. 3, 2, 1, clean. Hold it here, abs engaged. Place it back down between your feet. Let's get another one. Up. Good. Another one. Down. Up. Good. Place it down. Two more. Up. Place it down. And last one. Up. And place it down. Shake it out. All right. Another 15 seconds of this jumpy jump. If you don't want to do that, a fast calf raise so you can jump one day. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, 15 seconds here. We got it. We got it. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Beautiful. Okay. So now let's do some kettlebell swings. We're going to do a couple sets of the dead stop swing, the hike, and the park, and then we'll do the full enchilada. Now's a good time if you guys want to grab water. Do whatever it is you want to do. Whatever it is. So we're going to do 5 hike and parks. We're going to do 5 dead stop swings. We're going to do that 2 times. So since we're kind of emphasizing our power breathing today on the hike and on the park, I want you to start practicing your breathing. So power breathing, it helps us brace our core at the right places. So I mentioned today that the strength position here is when we're loaded with the kettlebell, okay? So that's why we're taking that sip of air in here. And it's just through your nose. And then the exhale is through your mouth, and it sounds like this. And as you're doing that, your abs are engaging. You don't have to do this with your hands. So if we're doing a hike in a park, we're just going to do the sip of air in, and then we're going to set the kettlebell down. So it's going to be sip of air in through your nose, and then just set it back down. Reset, sip of air in, and set it down. Okay, so sip of air in, set it down. We'll practice the power exhale on the dead stop swing because we're actually going to swing the kettlebell. Okay, so making your triangle in your setup position. One thing I have not seen enough of in the homework videos is, and it's because I didn't say it enough times, is the anti-shrug to get the kettlebell into the right spot when you're about to swing. So your lats are these muscles underneath your armpits. Your lats need to engage. Your lats need to engage before you move the kettlebell. So making that triangle position, hips are back. You have your hands on the kettlebell. You're tipping it back. Say if your kettlebell's way out in front of you, I don't want you to start there because your lats are disengaged. So when you tip that kettlebell back and then anti-shrug your shoulders using your lats, you're going to pull that kettlebell into the perfect position. So let's practice 5 hike and parks. And you're going to take that inhale sip of air as the kettlebell is coming towards your hips. So here we go. Let's do the first one. Inhale up and then place it back down. Reset. Make sure that kettlebell went exactly where it started. Here we go. Inhale, breath, hike and park. Again, hike and park. Kettlebell's coming all the way up into the hips. Hike and park. One more. Hike and park. Good. Stand up, shake it out. Woo! The legs. Okay, so air, dead stop swing. No kettlebell. We're all doing this together. So we have our setup position. Our lats are packed, anti-shrug, sip of air in, hiking that kettlebell to our hips. Your hips didn't move. They were here. They stayed here. Now we stand. That's where we're doing the exhale breath. Is as that kettlebell is traveling away from our hips. So my hips come from here to here. That's when we need to use the power of our breath, the power of that power breathing, engaging our core to help shoot that kettlebell up and away from us. So for the dead stop swing, then we're going to catch the kettlebell at our hips and we're going to place it right back down. If the kettlebell landed somewhere funky, you could reset, re-engage your lats. Inhale, sip of air. Exhale as your hips come forward. Not at the top of the swing, but as your hips come through. Okay, so let's do 5 dead stop swings together. Making that triangle with your feet about hip distance apart. Hinge those hips back. Grab the kettlebell handle. Pack your lats. Anti-shrug your shoulders. 3, 2, 1. Sip of air in. Exhale, swing, catch at your hips, and park it down. Back to your setup position. Here we go. Hit it. And another one. Let's get it again. And one more. Woo! All right. Nice job. Shake it out. So the hike in the park with the power breathing and then the timing. Really, the timing is, and we'll talk about this in the continuous swing, but the timing piece is being very impatient to get from here to here. I want you to be very impatient. But then once you're at the top of the swing, I want you to be very patient to let the kettlebell come back to your hips. Try not to lead with your hips, then bring the kettlebell down and park it. We want to stay here. We want to let gravity bring the kettlebell back towards us. And then right when the kettlebell's about to hit us, we're going to get back into that hinge and place it down. Okay, so I'm going to unpin my screen so I can see you guys a little bit better. And let's get 5 hike and parks. Remember that profile view is going to be money. for me to see you. All right, so go ahead and make that triangle position. Hands on your belt, tip that kettlebell back. We're gonna get 5 hike and parks. Ready? Begin. Hike. And, oh, you all did the dead stop swing. Perfect. Let's do 5 dead stop swings. Keep it going. Do another one. Hike, swing, and park it. All right, let's do another one. Tip that kettlebell back. Hike, swing. Good, nice job. Back to your hips and park it. Let's do 2 more. Hike, swing. Good, place it down. And last one. Hike, swing, and place it down. Nice job, you guys. Beautiful work. All right, so those are the drills, the hike and park, the dead stop swing. Do you guys have any questions about anything at all before we move on to our continuous swings? Any questions? All right. Okay, so we're going to move on to the continuous swings. This is perfect. I'm going to be able to give you guys lots of feedback. And we're going to do 5 sets. So each set, I'm going to kind of like focus on 1 or 2 people, give you guys some feedback, and then you can try to make those corrections on the next set. We'll do 5 sets of 10, 2-hand swings. So 5 sets of 10, 2-hand swings. And I want you again to still work on your setup, your strength, and your stand, but then also add in that power breathing and just the timing. The timing is like the final piece. I finally learned about the breathing like 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and then the patience of the timing of the swing. I'm still working on it, to be honest. All right, so let's go ahead. So if you guys aren't crystal clear on what I want your continuous swing now. So getting about 5 seconds here in this setup position. Everything's all good. Alignment, sip of air as you hike in. Exhale as your kettlebells, as your hips are going from back to forward. Okay, so 10 continuous swings, then you can park it, shake it out. We'll take about 30 or 40 or 50 seconds in between your swings so you can get a lot of rest. And then we'll do it again. All right. You guys ready? Yeah, I like this view, Patty. All right, here we go. Get into your setup position. Hips back, hands on the kettlebell, tip it back. Beautiful position. 3, 2, 1. Hike and swing. Good. Go all the way through to 10. Nice. Fast on the stand. Good, Charlene. Nice, Maria. Good work, Patty. Once you get your 10, go ahead and relax. Safely parking that kettlebell. Great job. She chose violence today. Patty chose violence. So when I want to be mean, I give people a lot of dead stop swings because they are so fatiguing because you got to start from that hike pass position every single time. So Patty, you don't have to do any more dead stop swings, praise. Now it's all just a continuous swing. So once you get into your hinge, you just swing again and then swing again. You don't have to park it all the way back down. I like that you had that practice though. I like that you had that practice. All right. Shake it out, breathe. Are you guys ready for another 10? Another 10? All right. Maria, is there any way you could turn sideways? That way I can see like your spine a little bit better. She's like, I'm going to swing into this mirror. You're the best. Thank you. All right. All right. Here we go. Let's get into our setup position. Tip that kettlebell back. Pack your lats. Eyes are down on the floor. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Let's swing, baby. 10 swings. Good. Fast hips from hips back to hips up. Those hips are moving fast. Power breathing. Once you get your 10, go ahead and place it down and shake it out. All right, Charlene. So for you, I just want you to work on that patience from the stand back to the strength position. So what you want to do is you want to be like as strong in your plank position as you possibly can, and you want to let that kettlebell come back to you. It's not gonna hit you. You're gonna move out of the way before it hits you. So be strong, be tall, right about here. Chop those hips back and then come through again. So for you, all your positions are really good. Your setup, your strength, your stand, all that stuff is really good. Now we just want to be patient to let that kettlebell come back to us. Let it come back to you before you chop those hips back. And then Patty, I want you to pretend like there's a string, like the tape that they put, like when you finish a race and you run through the tape. There's a piece of tape in between your knees. When you're swinging that kettlebell, you do not want to break that tape. Okay. So the kettlebell needs to stay closer, higher up in your body when you're coming into the hinge and when you're standing. Right now, you're breaking that tape with your kettlebell. So I want it to stay closer to your body. So let your hands like come into those inner thighs. It's a little bit too low, which kind of pulls on the back. All right, let's get another 10, baby. Ready? Set it up. Tip that kettlebell back. Eyes down a little bit more, Maria, on the floor. There you go. 3, 2, and then butt down a little bit more, Maria. Bend your knees. There you go. 3, 2, 1, go. Woo! Nice. All the way into that stand, Maria. Fast hips up. Better, Patty. Nice job, friends. Get your 10 and park it and shake it out. Okay, so I have something for you, Maria. In your strength position, you're really like horizontal with your shoulders and your hips. So this position, I want it to turn into this position. So maybe like a little more bend with your knees coming into this strength position and then trying to keep your chest up a little bit more. So keep that chest up and then bend your knees a little bit more into that strength position. All right. You guys ready for another one? Another set? This will be our fourth set. Fourth set. All right, set it up. Tip that kettlebell back. So hips back, lats are engaged. 3, 2, 1. Let's hike it up and swing hard. Good, Patty. Or me, Maria. That's better. Just glue those feet to the floor. Stand up hard. Strong on the stands. Maria, try to get your shoulders away from your ears. Relax those arms. Relax those arms. Good. Get your 10. I like it, Maria. That's better. That's better. Nice job. Good. And park it. Okay. So I saw some good improvements with Maria, the position of your body in the backswing. And then Patty, I'm seeing kind of like your arms lead the kettlebell. So remember that your arms are ropes with hands. So if your arms were ropes, then the rope couldn't pull the kettlebell up. So the kettlebell goes where your lower body sends it. So these arms are relaxed, your shoulders are down away from your ears. So at the stand point of the swing, we're here and not kind of here. It's subtle, but pull those shoulders down and relax your arms. Let's get our last set, you guys. Last set. I'm going to record this on my phone. So make it look good. All right, we're setting up. Tip that kettlebell back. Lats are packed. Eyes are down on the ground. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Last 10 swings. Here we go. Last 10. Good, Charlene. I can see your patience on those swings. Nice job, Maria. Nice job, Patty. If I can't see you, I wish I could. Nice job. Finish up those 10. Park your kettlebell and shake it out. Beautiful. Yay! All right. Do you guys feel like you learned and improved your kettlebell swing over the last handful of days? Is it working? Is it working? Thumbs up, two thumbs up, baby. Yay! But we said definitely. Okay, cool. I want to let you guys just kind of chill on the floor for a few minutes. And then while you're doing that, I'm going to get set up to tell you guys about next steps if you want to take them. So just take your time on the floor, maybe hug your knees up, roll yourself side to side. I like to stretch like a pigeon stretch. You could do some more hamstring kicks. Just give your body some love and keep your ears open. That's all I ask. All right. This has been so much fun. I have loved coaching you guys in the kettlebell swing. It's not over yet. We still have tomorrow. And so for tomorrow, really, like, I just want another set of swings, keep practicing, layering in. You guys were muted, so I couldn't hear your power breathing. But if you send a video, then I'm going to be able to really hear like what your breath sounds like that. My family makes fun of me because every time I'm like watching a workout video, they're like, but I don't care because it's important to me. Okay, having some trouble sharing my screen. It's all about that. Share, present. All right, so we practiced our kettlebell swing. We did it. Maria, can you see kettlebell training is the best way? Can you see my presentation? Thumbs up. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. So in the Kettlebell Foundations Challenge, we learned the two-hand swing. Super important exercise. Uh, you guys can see why it takes a few days to kind of like put it all together and then practice it for the rest of your life. I've been practicing kettlebell swings for almost 10 years. I'm still learning. I'm still improving my form. The other foundational skills with kettlebells are the Turkish get up, the clean, the squat, the overhead press, and the snatch. We didn't even cover the single arm swing. That's also an important exercise because with our clean and our snatch, we're using a single arm. So the two-hand swing becomes the single arm swing, and then you could do like a million different variations of swings. So these are the 6 foundational movements. This is what I'll be teaching in the Kettlebell Foundations course, which is the next step if you want to keep working and learning and doing all the things. So this course is going to be for you if you are making some of these common mistakes or if you just want to learn more about kettlebells. So a lot of people, they don't know what to do. They're kind of stuck in their fitness journey. I'm going to tell you what to do. We're going to work on 6 foundational movements and we're going to focus on one movement per week. So we're going to do a workout. We're going to keep doing swings and then we're going to layer in learning the Turkish get up. The Turkish get up happens to be like 7 or 8 different steps to get up and then retracing your steps back down. So we'll kind of work through that in a couple different sessions. But I'm going to show you exactly what to do. So you don't have to think about it. You just show up, you do what I ask of you, and you're going to learn all these foundational skills that you can keep working on forever. A lot of people are only focusing on cardio, and that's because you could just easily get on a machine. You don't feel, like a fish out of water. You just get on the machine. It's what we know. But a lot of people don't know how to strength train. So that's where having a coach come in and show you exactly what to do, the muscles you should be feeling, pulling your hand back to your hip, not your neck, all these things, the nuances of strength training. It's more than just bicep curls. So I'm going to show you how to strength train. Maybe you're someone that's not been making strength and fitness progress. You're going to the gym, you're going to classes, and you're like, cool, my body looks the exact same as it always has. So if you're not making that strength and fitness progress, it's possible that you should be following a system, a progressive overload system to help you get the results that you're after. We're constantly tracking our progress in my programs. So the weight that you're using week one is probably not going to be the same weight that you're using week six. We have spreadsheets. We're writing things down. We're keeping track of stuff so that you can really see it in black and white. It's not just a feeling, right? Sometimes we have the problem of knowing exactly what to do, but we're just not able to be consistent for some reason. So that's why when you have me as a coach, and especially with these small group containers, there's probably only going to be a handful of people in the Kettlebell Foundations course. Last time I ran it, there was 8 people. So it was like, I get to know you guys. I can see you. I'm looking for you. I'm literally texting you, being like, Charlene, are you going to show up today? And then people start to tell me, like, I'm not going to be there today. I had to work. So there's accountability built in with the small group program. And I know you, you know me, like you're going to want to show up. So you make me happy. Some people just kind of jump from fad to fad to fad. These foundational kettlebell movements, they're not fad exercises. We will always be doing squats. We will always be doing overhead presses. We will always be doing these really foundational exercises that you can work on and continue to work on literally for the rest of your life. Successful people master the basics and continue practicing them forever, forever, ever, ever. All right, here's a success story. This is my friend Felicia. She went through Kettlebell Foundations in the spring. And here she is at the top of Half Dome. She said doing this course really made her excited to strength train at home. Before, she wasn't sure about her form. She didn't want to hurt herself. So now she doesn't have to drive like 30 minutes to and from the gym. She can swing, she can challenge herself, she can do all this stuff from home. And she has 2 little kids. She's an attorney, she's a busy woman. So being able to strength train from home and get her workouts in from home has been a game changer in her progress. And I'm super proud of her. And then this is Mary. She was also in the last Kettlebell Foundations course. She's a badass. She lost 100 pounds before enrolling in my course. She was really good about doing her cardio, but she didn't really know how to strength train with kettlebells. So now she's been able to learn all the things, the Turkish get-ups. She does it all. And she's made tremendous progress in the last, I would say, 6 months. So she said, I was used to doing cardio at the gym. Now she's doing more kettlebells, backing off minutes on the stair climber because she doesn't have to. And she said, you are a change maker. So Mary is one of my favorites. All right, we use the BEST method. So BEST is an acronym. BEST stands for building muscle. The qualities of kettlebell training are about building muscle strength, mobility, stability, cardiovascular fitness. You can do all of that with the kettlebell, and particularly when you know and can practice the 6 foundational movements really well. The E stands for efficient. So we can do it all with one tool, and you can kind of keep a little stack of them, not a stack, a pile of them in the corner of your living room if you want to, or your garage. They don't take up a lot of space. Very efficient tool. So yeah, you can like have a whole arsenal and not have to invest in a Peloton. S stands for simplifying. So I'm not going to give you a new workout every single week. We have simplified the process. We're going to learn something, we're going to practice it, and we're going to keep doing it. There might be nuances on the tempo or the width of your legs, or it's a single arm, or it's 2 arms working at the same time, but just follow my system. I've been doing this for a very long time. I know what works, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. I don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's very simple. And then the T just stands for tracking. So I think this is what's missing in a lot of gyms, in a lot of like group fitness, is you go in and you do your thing, or you're just working out at home, you do your thing, and you are never making notes about like, what weight was I using? Okay, I've been using the same 10-pound weight for 6 months. Perhaps I could go up to 15 pounds or 12 pounds or 20 pounds. In my experience, most women can do a lot more than they think they can do. They just need that extra little push. And maybe they need to be motivated a little bit, or someone telling them like, I can see you can do more. Like my eyes can see what you're doing, and I know you can do more. So we're constantly tracking our progress, and it feels really good. It feels really good to know where you started and then where you've made progress to. All right, so for the Kettlebell Foundations course, we're taking one movement at a time. So we're going to start with the swing in week 1. I'll teach the single arm swing as well in week 1. And then we're going to do Turkish get-ups week 2. Week 3 is cleans, then squats, then the overhead press, then the snatch. Very simple. And it's all going to be kind of in a similar workout style that we've done in these workshops. Some stretching, some power exercises, some strength training, and then we usually finish with some, some cardio so we can sweat a little bit and you can feel like you did something. So we're going to start our course on September 20th. There's going to be 2 weekly workout sessions, just kind of like what we did in this challenge. One's going to be on Saturday and the other one's going to be on Tuesday. I was playing around with Wednesday, like Tuesday or Wednesday. So I'm going to kind of survey the group and see what works best, but it'll be Saturday morning and then like a Tuesday afternoon/evening. Like I said, we're going to work on one skill at a time. And by the end of 6 weeks, I want you to feel really good about the 6 foundational kettlebell skills. You'll have access to me and the community. We're going to be on a private WhatsApp chat, just our kettlebell course participants. And you're going to learn how to train with kettlebells efficiently, safely, and you'll be able to keep on working on this forever, ever. The course is going to be $299 for everyone who's not participating in this challenge. So you save $50 for being in the challenge. I do have 2-pay pricing available. So just cutting that price in half and then spacing it out, pay half now and then half in a month. And then for the people that enroll by September 9th, there's a bonus for taking action early. You'll have access to my nutrition challenge. It's going to happen in January. It's called Clean Up to Lean Out. And I find it's a really good process to kind of work on one thing at a time. So like work on your fitness, get that dialed in for a few months, layer in your nutrition, or you can start with nutrition and then layer in fitness. But I feel like it's too much to do everything at once. So I run these nutrition challenges a couple times a year so that we can kind of dial things in there and then just keep practicing. So the deadline for early pricing, so the $249 price, that expires the end of day September 12th. So if you want to save some money, do so before September 12th. And I will send emails. I will send all the things. But I just want to tell you guys, like, honestly, thank you so much for trusting me, for being here, for either being in the live workshop or listening to the recording. It means so much to me that strangers sometimes to me would trust me and be willing to learn from me. So I just really appreciate you. And I hope that you've had a good experience here. So if you've had a good experience, then like in 5 days or 4 days or a couple days, just think in another 6 weeks time, how much further along you can be in your fitness journey if you want to learn how to strength train with kettlebells, if you want to get consistent, if you want to learn these foundational skills that you can practice forever. So I don't want to do any more like hard pitching or anything like that. I just hope you guys have had a good experience. And if you want to do more, just, you know what to do. You know where to find me. So I'll put the link in the chat to the Kettlebell Foundations course if you guys want to grab that. And then I'll also put it in an email later. Lifetime access. Yeah. So once you are a part of the course, how my online programs work is I use a system called Kajabi, and you create a username and a password. And once you buy, like if you do a challenge, like a 30-day challenge, then you don't have access to that material forever. But if you do a course, you have that forever. And if I ever decide to become like a circus performer and not do personal training anymore, I would just let everyone know, like, hey, download the videos that you want to save because I'm disappearing off the face of the earth. But no, you have access forever. Any of my courses that you take, I have like a nutrition course, you can keep that access. I mean, I think the real value in going through the 6 weeks together is like participating live and having that feedback. But yeah, if you wanted to go back and like do the course all over from week 1 to week 6, if you want to do that 5 times or 6 times or 700 times, you absolutely can. You'll probably get bored. But yeah, you have lifetime access. If you're going on vacation for a week, like you'll have access to those recordings. If you're going on vacation for 2 months, then it's probably not the right timing. But yeah, lifetime access. Any other questions, you guys? All right. Well, if you guys have questions, let me know. You can find me in the chat as well and in the emails. Thank you so much for being here again. You guys have been amazing. I've loved watching you learn, practice, and improve your kettlebell swings. You guys are representing Reach Fitness well. That's all I want. You go to the gym, do some good swings. Swing at
Thank
home, do some good swings. You're very welcome. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.
you. All right, have a good night.
You too. Oh, I forgot the bonus. Don't go. So, everyone, I'm going to write down your names before I forget. So, I have bonus prizes, and I decided today that I'm just going to give same thing to everyone. So, I do have a recipe guide. I forget the name of it now because I changed the name, but there's like 40 kind of low calorie, high protein, high fiber recipes that you can, make for breakfast, lunch, dinner, get on the table pretty quickly. I'm going to email that to all of you guys, and I'm going to take a screen grab. That's going to be faster for me to make sure I have all your guys' names. So Charlene and Maria and Patty and Toby and Tanya and the iPhone 2. What's your name? iPhone 2. Well, I don't have your name, but if you let me know you were on the call, then I will email you the recipe guide. It's digital, and you can download that from there. All right, that's it. Thank you guys. Have a
Thank
great
you.
evening.
Thank you. You
Bye.
too. Bye-bye.